This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSPORT Fan Network. TalkSPORT. Powered by fans.
Hello, welcome to this latest edition of Red Side of the Trent. And as you heavily heard in the intro, Morgan Gibbs-White's name mentioned, and I think first port of call of this summer might be a new intro, taking him out, unfortunately. As the news has broken that Morgan Gibbs-White may be heading to Tottenham Hotspurs, £6 million release clause that no one knew about, but seems to have come out of the woodwork. Happy to join by Mason Coy and Danny Tring. Mason, how are we, first of all?
Good, mate. I feel like I've been put in a washing machine, but I'm all right.
Put in a washing machine. Danny Tring enjoying the sunshine in the garden, but probably maybe a dark cloud coming over you, as I can see in the background.
No, I'm all good. It's football, isn't it?
It's football, isn't it? Yeah. Well, obviously, breaking news from Fabrizio Romano and a host of other journalists that Gibbs-White is heading down to London and to Tottenham Hotspurs of all teams. I mean, that kind of makes me a little bit vomity in my gob. I'm not going to lie to you, lads. Mason, what's your initial reaction to it? How do you feel?
Shock, fear. I don't know where to start, mate, to be honest. Initially, I thought, it's just a little link. Even though it came from Ornstein, I was still probably calm, to be honest. And then obviously we've seen Dan Taylor tweet, and then it just seemed to just spiral from there, didn't it, really? As it's all unfolded, because it's happened so quickly, I still think I'm literally in shock, to be honest. But initial thoughts, gutted. If it was on his own, wouldn't be gutted, to be honest. It's the fact that we're losing two. But yeah, so it's so hard to initially react. I know I've wanted to come on a podcast to speak about it, mate, but I still don't know what fully to say about it. It's one of them. It's like Danny said at the start, football, isn't it? It's football.
Yeah.
I love what Gibbs-White's done for us, but it's one of them. We've got to move on now, haven't we? And we've got to replace properly.
Yeah, definitely. Danny, I mean, we spoke about in our group chat, newly formed group chat, with everyone, so we can get people more involved. I mean, you said it's football, isn't it? In a roundabout way, but what's your thoughts? Obviously, Mason's just listed about three of the three seeds of like, what would you call it, mourning, basically.
I think, like you say, it all comes as a shock. I think when we've seen Alanga move basically confirmed yesterday, wasn't it, or the day before, I didn't think for a minute we'd probably lose two. And I'll be honest, I probably didn't think Forest did. Something's obviously happened in the last 24 hours where it's like basically a snowball effect. And all of a sudden, I think it's Dute's medical tomorrow, they're saying. I imagine he'll be pictured with a shirt tomorrow night from 24 hours of us finding out that there was even a remote chance of a move. So I'm shocked. But I'm more shocked, like you say, that it's after the Alanga deal. I think if the Alanga deal hadn't have happened, and this had come out today, and the Alanga deal, like I say, hadn't happened, I think we'd all be sat around going, well, we'd be surprised with the release clause, but we'd all be like, well, oh yeah.
Oh, we've lost Danny for a moment there, Mason. But I mean, was you shocked about this release clause? Because that's the one thing that's kind of been a shock, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's a kick in the teeth for all the fans, mate, to be honest. That's the thing that's kicked us all in the teeth, in the stomach and everything, in the face, if you like, as well. Because we thought, even when the news came out about Gibbs-White, we thought it'd be 70, 80. So, yeah, I'll let Danny carry on now. He seems to come back in the building.
He's back in the garden. Yeah, for Danny, like the release clause has been the shock, hasn't it? Really, because it's come out of the blue. It seems like no one really knew about it. I think it was a bit of a hush secret for a while.
I mean, yeah, I can't. I mean, it's all right. People are saying no, it's legit. I still don't believe that it's legit. Like, I can't believe he's had a 60 million buyout clause, and supposedly all these teams have sniffed around him and been interested, and not one of them's thought to trigger it. I really can't. Like, I look and I think if Man City was interested in him, 60 million, it's a drop in the ocean for them. I think there was a few links last summer, weren't they? So for me, yeah, the release clause. I mean, all of us would have thought 80 million, wouldn't we? I think we'd have took 80 million and been all right with it.
Yeah,
But
especially after we only paid what 42.5. Like I find
yeah,
that
it's
very
just
very strange.
60 million, and also like, at what point did they put the deal in? That obviously when we signed him, it don't bode well. I mean, I'm of the belief he's forced the move. Like, I think he's forced the move because it's like, why would he sign for, like, say 40 million and we'll be like, oh well, we'll sell you for 60?
Hmm.
Like, because the fact is, for him to for us to have paid the 40 million, it was all the clauses, which basically means that it had fulfilled the transfer fee of the 40 million with the add-ons. So it would have made him worth a lot more than that. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing I can think of. It's like no one would have paid 60 million if we'd, what was it, 25 million if we'd have not succeeded in any of the add-ons. No one's going to pay the 60. Do you know what I mean? It's odd, very odd.
Yeah, very strange. I mean, Mason, does it make it a little bit more of a bitter pill to swallow because it is Tottenham, and I know they are in the Champions League next season by the skin of their teeth in probably the worst Europa League campaign I've ever witnessed for a long time. But the fact that we took 6 points off them home and away, I mean, they didn't really come near us. I think they come 17th in the league. There was an absolute embarrassment to the league. But they are they're an attractive club to go to because of the new stadium, new bigger facilities. Obviously, Thomas Frank's gone in there. They're signing Mohamed Kudus as well from West Ham. They seem to be building, but it's still a bit of pill to swallow, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if he goes to an Arsenal, a City, or a Liverpool, you go, yeah, fair enough. You put your hands up and you say, fair play, good luck. Even if you forced it, we can understand why you'd force that, to be fair. But to Tottenham, like you said, they stunk the gaff out last year. They were honking, weren't they? Horrendous. They won the worst Europa League, like you said, of all time, until we somehow get bumped up into it next season. But yeah, honestly, it stinks. The whole thing stinks for me. Like Danny said, it reeks of a player forcing a move. And Alanga can go with well wishes for me. Yeah, I think we probably could have squeezed another 10 out of him, maybe 5 or 10 mil. But for me, this doesn't sit right currently. Unless there's something that comes out later on down the line and I put my hands up and say, fair play, off you go, Morgan. But something isn't sitting right. A move doesn't come along that quick and happen that quickly. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's not as if Tottenham have rang today and said, by the way, lads, I found out you got a release clause. Bam, there you go. Get on that. And then he's out the door and having a medical tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. Football isn't that kind of game. It's a business and it doesn't run that quickly. It just doesn't. So for me, he's forced that. There's going to be loads of different factors, like you said. London, facilities, even down to his missus as an influencer. It's probably easier for her to take pictures in Chelsea than it is in the Meadows. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of them, though. It is, isn't it? There's loads of different factors. If I got offered a job in London tomorrow, my head would be turned. It would. It's just one of them. But, yeah, something stinks at the minute. It doesn't sit right. And I don't think it will for a while, to be fair. I don't think it will sit right for a while, mate, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Danny, what do you think it's a good move for him in a sense? Because I mean, we were speaking about whether it'd be good, whether it'd be better to lose him now when he's only got 2 years, because we was all considering like, is he going to sign a new deal to protect his value for us? And then we can say like, well, if someone bids from a Champions League side, we'll consider it, sort of thing, or we'll definitely let you go, kind of thing, if the price is right. But like, if we left it now, another year, it decreases in value, probably not get as much for him. So it's probably best that he goes now. It's just because, like we've already reiterated, we're losing Alanga. So it's now we're having to get another, 4 or 5 players in forward positions if we are going to continue with the 4-2-3-1. But I know me and you are quite heavy on maybe changing formation and the boy Elliot Anderson becoming our number one boy.
Yeah, I mean, to touch on what Mason said, it's like, it stinks of they've spoke all summer about a new contract. There's no way if he's been on a 2-year counting down to 2 years. They've from the end of last season, they've discussed a new top contract. Is obviously his age. He's probably turned around and says, "Get on phone to Tottenham. I know they're interested. I'm not going to sign this deal. Get me gone as soon as you can," because that's obvious. Like Mason said, that's football. We're not stupid. The people like to think we are. We're not. It's like the fact is they'd have been talking through a deal with him. I mean, there's rumour he was doing the kit launch. I mean, is it on the header? I think on the Twitter page where he's got the kit on. There was obviously talks, and then all of a sudden his head's been turned, and he's turned around, and I imagine he's gone. Now I'm not going to sign a new deal. Trigger that because at the end of the day, it's all right. Yeah, he's got a release clause. We could just offer him a new contract now if we wanted to say with no release clause in it. Like if it's as simple as that. And regarding, or is it? Yeah, it's a good move. Personally, an extra 10 million, 70 million, I don't think I'd probably see it as about right. 70, 75 million. So we're only 15 million short. I think it's the fact it's a release clause and the fact, like you say, the Alanga deal. So we could have held on for more money because we're not money desperate. But regarding the formation, I think we need to probably go for that 4-3-3 just because at times last season, even when we was doing well, like always sticks in my mind, Leicester away, we was overran, and then we dropped. I think Anderson was in the 10, and then I think he dropped deeper, and then we seemed to sort it out. Obviously, then we battered them second half. Wolves away, we were clinical, but if it weren't for them missing the chances, could have been a different game. And I think all season we was just so clinical, and the minute that sharpness dried up, obviously Wood got the injury, and then the minute we started to have little injuries within the defence, the Aina one at Man United was the big one. We looked like we couldn't create anything anyway. So it's almost like we just needed a reset. And my issue with it is, if we did go free midfield, I'd like to probably put Morgan in there because I do prefer him as a deeper midfielder than a 10. And in regards to Gibbs-White, whether it's a good move for him, only time will tell because there's no saying he's definitely going to go and start for Tottenham. Nothing. I mean, if Maddison's fit and he's firing, I mean, I might be wrong. I'd have Maddison, a fit firing Maddison over a fit firing Gibbs-White every day at week in 10. Every day at week. He's going to score you more goals. He creates more. So is he going to start for them if Maddison's fit? Probably. The only issue is obviously is his fitness. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we know that Tottenham will be getting a hard-working player, a much hard-working player than Maddison, but I do agree with you in terms of his output. He's quite clinical when he gets a chance. James Maddison, right foot or left foot. Gibbs-White's problem and his kryptonite is his shooting. He can't shoot like to save his life. I know I've seen Mason pull his hair out in the upper club stand many times about it, and that is something that has let him down time and time again. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go in terms of the market now, and everyone's going to know we've got £120 million plus whatever else we've got behind us. That's going to kind of hamper us a little bit, I'd say, Mason, with that in terms of going for players, because teams are now going to add on that extra 5-10 million because they know Forest have got it in the bank.
Yeah, mate. I think put it this way, it's a fact. It's going to be very hard for Forest to buy players now. It's a fact because it depends what characters you go after. There's the point that you just said just then. People are going to look and go, well, they've got the money. Add another 10 mil on. Simple as that. That's football. Like even it was touted, Wissa, they wanted 40 mil. We've inquired bid in the last hour or so, and now it's 50. It's going to happen. And then the other one is it depends what characters you look at, because you could look at it as, if I was a footballer, I'd look at it and I'd go, well, their 2 star men have gone. I can go in there and be the star man. Give me that number 10 shirt. I'm having it. Or you could look at it and go, wow, I'm not going there. They've just sold the 2 best players. They're sinking. They are. So it depends. You can look at it one or two ways. It depends what type of characters we're looking at. Obviously, you'd like to think we're looking at characters who want to come in and say, Sam, give me that number 10. I'll have that on my back and I'll replace him. And I've touched on it a million times, even on this podcast, and I've said, hang me out to dry if you want to hang me out to dry. If we go and spend 60 million on a number 10, I can guarantee they'll put more numbers up than Gibbs-White does. It's as simple as that. Yeah, he's our most creative force, but he has to be. He's playing in the number 10 role. And everything almost went through him, even through every counter attack, it went through him. So we almost didn't have a choice to be creative. I'm not saying I don't like Gibbs-White. I've just always thought he could be better than what he is. And this isn't me backtracking now. I've said it. Go back numerous pods I've been on. Go back in every group chat I've said it for months. And in fact, I've even said it even started last season. And I can remember you and Danny Wetton absolutely gunning for me in our chat and saying, "You're outrageous saying that." But it's something I've always thought. That isn't me saying I'm not going to miss him. Of course I am. And it's going to hurt 10 times more because we're losing both, because we're losing Elanga as well. It will hurt us. But in terms of buying players, yeah, I said it previously to you, mate, in a bit of a jokey way, just while I was waiting for Danny to join the call. Marinakis isn't going to stand for getting abused. And this is Marinakis Jr., by the way. I've already seen people tweeting him, "What are you playing at? This is a joke." Guarantee you within the next 5 days it'll come out. Forrest are trying for Eze, because he'll try and recoup back some of them smiles and some of that good feeling again. He's got it in him, and he'll do something ridiculous. And I'm not saying that we're going to sign these players, but it'll be a bit like that Fofana thing, mate. It'll just be like, "Oh, just chuck that out there, will you? Fabrizio, here's £5,000. Just link us with Eze or link us with Benjamin Sesko or someone random like that." It will be, because he'll want that feel-good factor back, because he will now know that it's been lost. All he's got to do is look at the replies for the kit launch, mate. It's an absolute car crash on there, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I can vouch for you in terms of your Gibbs-White kind of anti Gibbs-White saga and how many arguments I've had with you. So I'm kind of backing you in terms of that. You've always had that opinion. I mean, I remember at Southampton away at the start of the season, you're pulling your hair out, getting him off. Danny even agreed when I mentioned this in our group chat, and then he ended up scoring. That's just the type of player he is. But I mean, 120 million pound, and then the rest behind it though, Danny. I mean, the players we could bring in, and we said this because someone Lee mentioned, he's like, we're not going to bring anyone of note. But we don't need to bring anyone of note in, do we? Necessarily.
So, I mean, it works both ways. I mean, I've listened to podcasts. I listen to this one obviously more than most. But on this podcast, they've been saying regarding that left back Truffett, was in for him. He was our top target, but obviously he's going to go to Bournemouth because Bournemouth have sold Kirkes, and so he's going to start. So how come now we've sold players? It doesn't work for us. It's like, I agree with Mason. You're looking at a decision where it's like you're going to come into a team. Gibbs-White, no matter what, I've always said it. I mean, I'm a fan of his. I think he's a good player, but he got man at match in every game before we'd even kicked a ball because his name's Morgan Gibbs-White. Sky Sports picked him because his name was Morgan Gibbs-White. So it can be in both ways. They could look at it. You can look at it and think, oh, Gibbs-White, no matter what, is going to play every game at Forest, so I can't go there. Whereas now, they're going to look at it and think, well, there's a space for me here. I could go in there. I could do this. I mean, we talked about it in the group chat. That's when we went with three in midfield. Gibbs-White playing on right-hand side because it was Gibbs-White. Like, he's never been a right winger. He's never played. He hasn't got the pace to play there. He hasn't got the. Is it in close quarters? And that's where is it is best, in close areas. So looking forward, yeah, we've got a lot of money to spend, but like you say, we signed Elanga, we signed Hudson-Odoi. You go back on all the posts on that, there'll be loads of negativity towards them. Now they're the best thing since sliced bread. And then same last season, we need to get rid of Sells. Sells ain't good enough. Go and get Aaron Ramsdale. Sells gets Golden Glove, Ramsdale gets relegated. It's like it's one of them. You've got to trust the process now. It's like people are writing this Igor Jesus off before he's even kicked a ball. Oh, it's crap. He not scored 10 goals. He might not score 10 goals, but if as a team it creates and it works better and work as a better system, it's all right for Gibbs-White not to score goals because it's Gibbs-White. But if we get, I know it's different. He's a striker, but it looks like a bit more of a bring the game players into the game kind of striker. So we might just be going a different way. We might try and, like you say, go for a different style of football. And the players are out there. We know that. I mean, Wissa, if you want 50 million, go and pay it. Go and pay 50 million for Wissa. It's good enough. I'd be happy if Forest pays 50 million for him. Is 15 goal a season player, can play on right, can play on left, and then he's brilliant down middle. Every time he's played against Forest, I thought, God, he's quality. Just if we have to pay that money, we have to pay that money, don't we? And then, like you say, we can go and get a couple of 20 million, 10, 15 million pound players that aren't these big names. Then it's all right. People going, oh yeah, we're going to put them out for near. Well, yeah, we've done it for 2-3 seasons now. But so yeah, I'm not in this camp of, oh, we won't get no one. I'm in the camp of, it's basically a new beginning, isn't it? We had Forest in Premier League, and Morgan was always the poster boy, and at times I'll always remember Arsenal at home in and the second to last game in first season. It was absolute like a man possessed, and fair play to him. And I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh no, he's rubbish." He's not, and he's done well for us. But I'm also not going to sit here and go, "Oh, that's us going down now because Morgan Gibbs-White's left."
Yeah, let's just remember. I mean, Mason, your brother put this out on Twitter, and it was brilliant because he said let's not de-appreciate players that are rejecting us and going down the list. Matt Sells was 7th choice, won Golden Glove last season. I mean, that says a lot. So there's players out there. I truly believe, and I'm in your boat, Danny. Like we've got 2 positions now where players are going to go, well, I can go in and be straight in as their number 1 right winger or centre attacking midfielder or another central midfield player and shine. And look what we've done with players. We've brought them in, developed them. They're going on to big sides for big money. At the end of the day, it is still big money. I know, like the fee is a little bit kind of rubbish in terms of paying 42 million because we've achieved what we didn't think we probably would so soon, and then only getting like 18 million quid profit in that sense. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, there's 720 people in here, guys. So if you're all sad about the situation, drop us a like. It's all free. It goes a long way. But I mean, Mason, anyone that you would like? I know you've been absolutely pining for Colucci from Monaco. You've been pining for Harvey Elliott. Anyone else?
Well, obviously we've got to start looking at attacking midfielders now, aren't we? And obviously, I think it was Danny originally in the group chat that mentioned Illiman and Diai, and mate, do it. Whatever it takes. If there's players like that, and even seeing somebody mention Grealish, mate, if it takes a Grealish or it takes an Illiman and Diai, just do it. I think also my brother again mentioned in the group chat, when are we going to be the team that's going to go and poach someone off a Prem team? When are we going to be that team? We get pickpocketed every season, it seems now, which is the food chain. It's accepted. Look at Wolves; they've been pickpocketed this season. Bournemouth have been absolutely obliterated, and it's not going to be the end of it. Even Brighton, they're a team who have got this amazing model that everyone's trying to follow, but now we're following it. Everyone's up in arms about it. Like, and even you mentioned about. I've gone a bit of tangent there, mate. Sorry, but you mentioned about the fees for Gibbs-White. On paper, you look at it and you go, yeah, if you're playing FIFA, money in football does not work like that. In terms of this year and profit, it's still a big profit on our books for this year for a sale, because it's not like, oh, there we go, we've sold Elanga for X amount of money, we've gained 45 million. No, we haven't. No, we haven't at all. It's football. The money's spread in it. The PSR, there's loads of gymnastics with it, like we've learned with Moss and Elliot Anderson. We've learned that. But in terms of replacements, mate, I think you've got Bakayoko on the right. You've got, don't want to butcher his name, is that Akliouche? He's looks a bit Leroy Sané-esque. You've got loads of players, even ones who've been loosely linked with. Tyler Diblin, the money for him is outrageous that's being quoted, but he's a good young up-and-coming player. Amari Hutchinson, these are players that you'd like almost in a tier list. Amari Hutchinson and Tyler Diblin are tier 2. The top ones are, like you say, the Bakayokos and the Akliouches. If you can pull them off, then, and we start well to the season, we have a good start in whichever European competition, and everyone's going, oh, it's all right, life's rosy again. So that's what I try my best to not get too high and too low. Obviously, you've seen me lose my head, so that's probably not good. That didn't go very far with you, Wickers. But yeah, it's there's going to be loads of names touted out. We're an easy link now as well, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to be an even easier one with the war chest now we've got. But yeah, I mean, other than that, though, keeping Nico Williams, keeping Olaraina. I mean, hopefully Hudson-Odoi's number change hasn't, and then this news hasn't deterred him from signing a new contract. Danny, I mean, it's important now that we don't lose anyone else, isn't it? I mean, Murillo's been potentially linked with Atletico Madrid. But I mean, I think we'd have to have astronomical money for him, because, like you said, I think I remember you coming on after Brentford away and you saying he's the best player you've ever seen. So, you'd want crazy money for him, right?
Yeah, well, Murillo did the right thing, didn't he? Signed a deal in which we ain't got a release clause and extended his contract. Do you know what I mean? He did the right thing. As a club, we did the right thing. And that's why I'm not buying this. They hadn't tried to tie Morgan down for a deal. They did it with Murillo, whose stock's higher than Gibbs-White. People can say he's not as good as Gibbs-White if they want, but his stock's higher than Gibbs-White. And we managed to tie him down on a longer deal. And so, yeah, and I think Hudson-Odoi, I think that deal will get signed. They're not going to look and think, oh, I'm not stopping here. Like, they're not silly, do you know what I mean? They're not thinking, oh, I'm going to leave now because Morgan's gone. It's not like Saturday afternoon when your best mate goes and signs for someone else, so you think, oh, I'm going to go with him. It's like the professional footballers, and like you say, it's more about opportunity, isn't it? And that's what it's coming down to. It'll come down to we'll get the best players, hopefully get the right characters in who want to take the opportunity, who want to be fair to Morgan, who want to take that bit that on the shoulders, the weight on the shoulders. Do you know what I mean? Like he did. And the next one will come in. So yeah, hopefully, I can't see us losing anymore. The Williams and Aina deal was a massive. Milenkovic is still at club, who was player at season last year. Murillo's still at club. Sells is still at club. Anderson's still at the club. And let's be right, 2 weeks ago, we're touting about him playing for England over Gibbs-White. Like, Wood's still at the club. And then we're seeing a bit of Sangare coming all right towards the end of the season. There's that to look forward to. Bring in a few fresh faces, Igor Jesus, another one. There's a lot to be excited about. It's going to upset people because he's a fan favourite. And obviously, Elanga was a fan favourite. We lost 2, but I'm on positive eye, and I'm thinking, I'm just looking excited. Come, when we're getting that Europa League tomorrow, we'll be buzzing.
I mean, I'm loving it. So, Jared's put this about you, Danny. He said, "Has Danny got a small head or massive shoulders?" I've replied that, mate. I just think it's the Utah Jazz uniform making you look a bit hench in this summer weather. But
it's my Murillo look.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Been on the weights. If there's anything more to add, Mason, before we head off.
No, I agree with Danny, mate. I could understand absolute head loss and snowball effects with heads rolling down hills if the season started tomorrow. It doesn't. What we've got Chesterfield on Saturday in a pre-season friendly. If we lose 5-0, we'll lose 5-0. Get over it. Half of our international players aren't even back, I don't think, yet. So it's one of them. We'll bounce back. I've seen people already saying we're relegation favourites now. Just behave. We've like Danny touched on, you've got Elliot Anderson, you've got Murillo, you've still got Milenkovic, your 2 fullbacks have just signed new deals. If that was the case and Gibbs-White had such a big effect and everyone's going to start leaving, Aina and Nico wouldn't have signed new deals, would they? So, like Danny said, it's one of them. Football's not as black and white as people think it is. There's loads to it. But yeah, mate, we've just got to move on now, haven't we? We've got a spare number 10 shirt ready for someone to fill. That's exciting. And we've got a right wing position for someone to fill, which if they can come in and hit the ground running, I'm sure we'll all be buzzing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a summer to come. Obviously, there's going to be lots of comings and goings. Fabrizio Romano is going to be busy as ever. David Ornstein, Dan Taylor, the rest of them, very, very busy. But thank you very much for everyone joining us. We've had a peak of 841 people. So like I said, if you can drop us a like, subscribe to us for more stuff. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you name it, we're on there. And until next time, come on, you Reds.